Hi, my name is David Board, and I'm a software developer at Stage 2 Studios here in Snohomish County. I really love science, and so every day I get to wake up and work with these projects that talk about science and science education, but then I get to use my skills in programming and my background in art and design and pull those all together to help share my interest and passion for science and science education. I'm an indie game developer. I don't work at a huge AAA studio making Fortnite or some other big Halo style game where they have hundreds of people that can work for them. I kind of got to do it all. The three things would be programming. Obviously, we think about that with game development, art and design, for the characters and the environment. But the last one is I'm a generalist. And a generalist is somebody who has to do a little bit of everything. I work with the music composer. I work with voice actors to record the audio. I write a lot of the story. Sometimes I hire writers to help with the story. So indie game development means I have to have a lot of different skills. So one thing I always talk to people about game design and development is that it's so much more than programming and art. Those are the two things we most commonly think about. But there's so much more in modern games. There's story, so you have to have writers. There's voices and acting and characters who are speaking. Well, we have to record real actors talking and giving those lines. We have music. Imagine how boring a game would be if there was no music. So we have to have music composers. There's just so many aspects of game design and development that you can get into game design and development, whether an indie developer like me or at a big company like Microsoft or Sony or Nintendo, and you can take almost whatever your interest is to that company and provide some aspect of game design and development. One of the big things that our little company works on is what's called serious games. And serious games is the idea of you're making a game and it should be fun, but it's for something like training employees, or one of the big things that we do is teaching about science. So we make games that are used in science centers and museums, and they talk about fossils, dinosaurs, space exploration, or hurricanes and climate change. And so those kinds of things are considered serious games. And it's a little bit different way of using game design and software development, not just for fun, but to teach about something interesting or useful. Software development in general, of course, is pervasive in the world right now because almost all of us have smartphones. Every business uses computers, no matter what kind of business it is now. We're connecting ourselves more and more and more with computers and software. And even like in factories, robots are creating the things we buy. Our cars are learning to drive themselves. So yeah, software development, what other kinds of jobs could I do? Almost anything uses software development now, and there's a huge variety of things that you can do. Computer science and software development is a huge, big world. Find one or two areas, either web programming or mobile app development or PC game design. Don't just stick to a single programming language or a single aspect. Companies love to see that you understand the other aspects of this really complex world. Depending on what you choose, if you go into the IT side, well, then you probably need some CompTIA certifications. You probably for sure are going to need some Microsoft certified professional certifications. You also need to make sure that those aren't just paper certs, that's just not a piece of paper, but that you really stick with it, follow the latest news and trends and information in that line of the industry, and you stay up to date and stay up to speed and really know kind of real world. And one of the best ways to learn that kind of real world knowledge is create something yourself. Whether you're trying to make money or not, if you want to go into indie game development, make an indie game. You can do something fun in a weekend with an online tutorial and you have a game. And that's kind of a fun, cool, rewarding experience, but also looks really good on the resume when you say, well, here, let me show you something that I made. The tools, the tutorials, the resources to do that right now are available. If you're a musician, if you're into the art side, start making music, start making art. and try to finish some little project, even if it's really tiny, because that'll be one of the best credentials in this industry. You can show people, here's what I do and here's what I'm capable of. All of those skills that it takes to start a project and finish a project, they're also going to be super helpful to you in the long run.